Good afternoon, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, September 6th, and it is day 53 in the Big Brother house. I did my math better than I did this morning. Nominations have been made, but the feeds are acting all kinds of wonky, and so people aren't able to see what's going on. They have a technical difficulty sign that went up. I thought they were back, and so I was going to start to watch them while I was driving for a little bit before I recorded this, but as soon as I turned it on, it was like a loud, like a chirping noise, and then they just cut it to the technical difficulties. So, we don't know what's going on, but we know who was going to be nominated. They knew who was going to be nominated. So, Chelsea, who won the power veto last night, did nominate, should have nominated Angela and Chemo. If she didn't, then everybody in the house is stunned, and nobody looked stunned from what I could see. You couldn't hear things, you could see people, and nobody looked stunned. So, now we just got two people nominated, right? Got a power veto competition tomorrow. What happens if Angela wins it? What is going to happen? Is Chelsea going to go after Quinn and Leah like she's kind of said, or is she going to do something else? Not sure. Not sure at all. And I would think that Chemo might be safe. I don't know, though. I don't know. But we got a long time to figure that out. Right now, we don't have a whole lot going on in the house. There are no have-nots. As I said, Chelsea talked to people last night. She talked to them this morning. Everybody knew what was going to happen. There was nobody going to be blindsided. Angela knows she's going up. Chemo knows he's going up. He said something to the effect of, I'd be worried about it if it was anybody except for Angela. Boy, I don't know. He's going to get really worried as soon as Angela wins the power veto, though. Because that could very well happen. And Joseph's interviews have all come out. A ton of them came out. And he did seem, I quoted the Entertainment Weekly one. I watched a little bit of Rob Has a Podcast one, which I usually don't do, but I did watch a little bit of it. He kind of is getting roasted. He's kind of getting roasted. There were several awkward pauses with the Rob Has a Podcast thing where I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad I wasn't in his shoes, because there was definitely awkward moments where they chose not to say anything rather than say something. It was very obvious that they were just kind of letting the dead air speak for their thoughts. So, one of the things that the interview that I thought was the interesting one was Entertainment Weekly, where he pretty much said CBS was cheap and didn't want to pay for 9 jurors. And that's one of the reasons that they only had 7 jurors, and that his game would have been different if both they'd had 9 jurors, the option for 9 jurors, and the AI twist. He said that just ruined it. He said that he wasn't really espousing being like Dr. Will as much as he was saying he was trying to. They asked him for something and he threw it out there, but he kind of implied to me that they ran with it more than he did. I had a couple of people online that disagree with me, but I think it's open to interpretation. I really was just more hearing it of, they got him to talk about it more in the diary room than it sounds like he would have otherwise. Maybe he would have done other things if they hadn't led him down that pathway. And that's where I get annoyed with the diary room. And I know, I have had house guests tell me that the diary room prompts them to say certain things or make certain jokes, say things in a certain way. And that all leads to me to, hey, we can make this part of a storyline. Let's get this person to talk about this. And that's, of course, they have to agree to do it. But again, if you don't agree to do it, how much time are they going to want to spend with you? Oh, so-and-so's always difficult. They never want to, they don't have anything great that we like, and they don't take our suggestions. I'm doing an imaginary production person. You get it. You understand, I think. I'm not saying that Joseph didn't overestimate himself and wasn't kind of cocky. I think he was. But he also was willing to admit it. I just feel like there's an awful lot of people piling on Joseph right now when most of us couldn't have done even as long as he did. Joseph was not someone who didn't know how to play the game. He thought he knew what he was doing. He thought he was doing all right. He can only go with the signals he's given in the house, and I feel like giving these people a little bit of a break. You have to be a real dingling for me to smash you too much in the house. And I don't think Joseph deserves it. I did hear his comment that he talked about Quinn has been a fan just for a couple of years. Just he dove really hard and fast and deep into it, and so this makes sense. He's got a very deep, superficial view of Big Brother. He knows all the stats, he knows the things, but he's not lived watching the live feeds, right? He hasn't really spent years with the show. He's spent very intense few months with the show. Now that he's lived in the house, he passes a lot of us on what that experience is like, but he still doesn't know what others went through, or he didn't see those other shows, or didn't see them live feeds as opposed to just the edited version of it. And again, I think it also reinforces the attitude of, how he was playing, and what I call, again, the new style of playing Survivor / Big Brother. That is a group of people. It's some would say it's all Survivor, but there's crossover, and there are big Survivor fans that are also fans of Big Brother, and they have the same kind of attitudes about the gameplay and the analysis and game theory and yada yada. And again, your story. You've got to have a story. You have to do those. That's Quinn. And then you have Joseph, who said he's been watching since Big Brother, I think he said 13 or 14. Okay. Well, that's still only half of Big Brother, right? He missed the first 12 or 13 years, but he certainly has watched it a lot more than Quinn has, and my guess is he's also watched at least some level of live feed participation, or has an idea about it. And so I don't know if he has the live feed watched. I don't know if he's talked about it, but I'm sure it'll come out eventually in interviews. But the point is, he still goes back in time a lot further, and where he could see the gameplay differently, where you can have a ride or die, right? Where you stick with your person until the end, and you don't cut them. You go to the end with them. Look, Derek and Cody. Cody took Derek to the end out of loyalty. Cost him money, but he took him. That's old style Big Brother. New style Big Brother, you cut him, with a couple of weeks or 3 weeks left in the game. So, there we go. That's the thoughts on Joseph. I've just watched the people. I feel bad because my one tweet has just been getting so many comments where I said that he said if it had been a regular season, he would have made jury. And he did say that. But he said some other things too. And that's the quote that I chose to tweet at the time, and I left it there. And now it's still getting retweeted and commented and all this kind of stuff, and I feel bad. We're not talking massive numbers here. We're talking like maybe a couple thousand likes, which is a lot, at least in my world. I mean, that's a lot. I usually don't get more than 30 or 40 or 50 likes on any particular, and that's a good tweet that I have. If I have a good tweet, I'll get 30 or 40 or 50 likes. So the order of thousands is just a lot, and a lot of comments, and a lot of quotes, and most of them aren't very nice. They're all making fun of Joseph, and I'm kind of feeling bad. So, yeah. Anyways, don't pound on Joseph too hard. The guy's a fan, and couched all around that comment about he would have made jury was all kinds of things about, like, I didn't win, only one person can win, 15 people lose, I don't blame people, I'm thankful, this has been the best year, best time of my life, or whatever. I mean, he complimented up and down the whole situation, but in the end, he's still a little bit bitter. Don't blame him. Anything else to tell you guys? I don't think so. Hopefully the fees get fixed. But really, there's not going to be much going on until we get to the power veto. I don't know how this House is going to align. I really don't. I don't know if they're going to I just don't know if they're going to try to do an all-girl alliance, or if they're going to, I'm just not sure how they're going to do stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. And it may be a whole nother week until they get Angela out for them to kind of line up their stars and figure things out. But that's it for now. We'll talk to you guys either tomorrow or Sunday. I'll just see how I'm feeling or what's going on. Probably tomorrow, if it isn't too late when the power veto's won. And we see who wins it. What are we down to? We're down to 9 House guests. So all but 3 of them will play in the power veto competition. And we don't know what that'll be. It could be OTEV. Possibly could be OTEV. So there's that. I'm sure they're speculating about it already. I'm thinking it could be a lot of different things. So we'll find out when we find out. Okay, I'm done talking. Have a good evening, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting me. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, Saturday. Goodbye.